into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start the show by being transparent. And yesterday, I went 1-1. My best bet lost, so I did have a losing day. Hornets plus 12 was my best bet, and Rockets team total under was the other one that won. So I have to try to do a little bit better today. We have Mr. Veno with us. How you doing today, Rob? And how's NBA been treating you?
I am good today, and I had just about basically the same card you had. I had 1-1, but the best bet lost. The best bet was Boston, San Antonio over. Did not get there. But the other play was the T-Wolves team total over 117.5. That did get there. So slight loss on the day, 1-1 split. And like you said, we'll look to do better today. Whoa, minus 170.
At least they starting to have a little bit of faith in me to make it on time. Let me shout out the chat really quick. They did go 12-8 yesterday. Some of the winners: Justin M with East Carolina +3. He usually does well in those college games. JT had the Cavs +4. Boofer had the Cavs first half money line. Brian H had the Cavs +4. So a lot of people cleaned up on the Cavs. Siete Catorce had a money line parlay per usual. He went with the Knicks and the Lakers. Let's see. Sean Evans had Donovan Mitchell under 46.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That cash. Nate the Great. He came with two dogs and gave out two winners. He took Blazers on the money line, took Raptors on the money line. Two dog winners. So very nice work from Nate the Great. Saturated had that Rockets team total under, which was a winner. VC3 did have the Raptors money line, and Mario C and Knicks -4.5. So there was some very nice work there from the chat. Let's see if we can keep that going into today. And let's take a look at the chat before we get started on today's NBA. Mario ready to get going. The first comment said, we really got beat by a franchise record in threes last night. Yeah, it's tough to see them falling like that, but it is what it is. Guys look like they're just ready to cap in the chat. Oh, there's some guesses here. Veno and Peach and Whip. Veno dark blue. Daniel reminded everybody to hit the like button. Appreciate that for sure. Bryce Miller said going back to the well with light blue. Well overdue. Justin said yellow. Del Toledo said green. Everybody's overlooking that Knicks orange, huh? Nobody's coming with the Knicks orange today.
And I purposely put on the Knicks orange today because yesterday on the NBA tip-off show for Wager Talk, UI and Ronald Kabang, we were all on the same game. And guess who was right and who was wrong? You and Ronald were both correct. I fell short in that segment, thinking that the Knicks could get over 113.5. They only scored 109. So I put the Knicks orange on today in memory of that yesterday on Wager Talk NBA tip-off.
Yeah, that's good stuff by you there. I like the Knicks orange. Knicks look damn good. I think we have to talk about the Knicks again today, so we'll see how we feel about that. But let's get into it. We have 5 games on the slate, and we'll start with 521, 522. First game up looks like Bulls heading into Toronto to take on the Raptors. Opened up Bulls -2. They're still a 2-point favorite. Total opened up 223.5. And that is all the way up to 228. For the injury report, let me just refresh. So the Bulls, the Sumo, looks like a game time decision, but probable. Same can be said for Drummond and Terry. Williams is a true game time decision, and they'll be without Torrey Craig. For the Raptors, looks like Jakob Poeltl remains out. Otto Porter also out. So, Rob, you have a Raptors team here on a back-to-back versus a Bulls team with 2 days rest. So already a major advantage towards the Bulls. If I look at last 5 game stats, the Bulls have been a better defensive and rebounding team. Raptors have been playing good basketball lately. They've covered 8 of their last 12. But Bulls, when they're playing these teams who are lesser competition, they make sure to let them know that we're on a higher level than you. I have them at 7-1-2 versus less than 45% win teams. So I was thinking the Bulls with the rest advantage being pretty healthy should get the job done in this contest. And also thinking that Toronto could be a little bit shorthanded, but it looks like some of those guys might be available tonight. So, really was trying to get to the window with Chicago. Do you feel the same way as me?
Yeah, I actually recorded this game earlier, Ski, and I played it. So I'll let you know what I did with it. And I liked a lot of angles on this game, like the Bulls angle. The total pushed. 223 and a half. It was all the way to 229 this morning. Came back just a shade. That's probably just some take back guys looking to get a middle. And then where I landed was Bulls team total. Team total here is 114 and a half. And I like that. I like that over. Bunch of reasons here. I mean, the Raptors obviously have shown us now what they're going to be the rest of the way out. They're going to be up tempo, higher scoring. Emmanuel Quickly, starting point guard. And when he turns it over to the bench, it's Dennis Schroeder, the backup, and they just push pace. And yesterday they ran up 121 on the Heat. By just, the Heat didn't want to go that quick, and Toronto did. Toronto, for what it's worth, they've scored 113 or better in 12 of their last 14 games, which is not the Toronto that we, have seen in recent years. All 12 of those games exceeded what tonight's total is, 228. But the key for me was the opponent in 10 of those games scored 118 or more. So they're going really fast. They're playing high-scoring games. The Bulls, obviously, we've talked about this a lot there. More possessions per 48 minutes. It has clicked. Nikola Vucevic being the key. Article I read this morning, Ski, actually Zach LaVine, of all people, to come out and praise Vucevic as now being, I guess you would call him a poor man's Jokic, because they've now turned to him as being like a point center. He's happier, and a couple of quotes from him that he was happier to be able to create from the free throw line, whether it's assisting on baskets, whether it's shooting and scoring, whether it's on the boards. He's really happy in the spot he's in. So that offense now runs through him, basically, as far as distribution goes. Chicago has scored 119 or more in 4 of their last 6. So all these numbers that I'm rattling off here are high-scoring numbers. Let's get a look real quick here at the rest advantage that you talked about. The Bulls have it. Possessions and opportunities probably are going to be here tonight because Toronto's playing the quick pace. And, the Raptors, even though they might have some guys, Ski, they are shorthanded, especially on the interior. I just talked about Vucevic, but hey, Pirtle's out and Siakam's traded. And where's the interior defense anymore? Those were the 2 guys that played. Jonte Porter was your starting center last night from Mizzou, Michael Porter's younger brother. I see Vucevic taking advantage there. Raptors been giving up a lot from 3. I don't know what your last 5 game numbers say, but I have the Raptors giving up 41% or better from 3 in 5 of their last 7. So they're not defending the arc real well. The Bulls have shot it well 3 of their last 4. You start adding all of this up, to me, you got some pace, some scheduling, some matchup advantages. All looks like the Bulls should get over 114 and a half here. So again, I don't dislike your way. I like your way, playing Bulls, and perhaps there's a side total correlating parlay to be played here, but I chose to play up and over team total 114 and a half.
Yeah, and I can understand that. Toronto has been playing with more pace. I don't know that the Bulls have been, but outside of their last game, they've been very good at sharing the ball. You shared some reasons, what's making that happen, and I could see the Bulls having success. So I lean Bulls. Rob leaning team total over for the Bulls, and we'll move on over to the next game. That will be 523, 524. Wizards, Knicks opened up. Knicks -11. Now a 12-point favorite. Total opened up 237, and that's down to 234. For the injury report, Daniel Gafford is out for the Wizards. for the Knicks. Looks like Josh Hart is questionable, and they're without Mitchell Robinson. So another game where you have the home team on a back-to-back, and the Wizards have 2 days rest. Knicks, damn good since they made this trade. I know they've covered 7 of their last 9, and really good defensively. They've gone under 8 of their last 9. This Wizards team, 12, 8, and 2 as a road dog. And I feel like they've been covering lately, minus that game when they were a favorite. So I was trying to find reasons to back the Wizards, and really the only one that I came up with is the rest advantage. So I didn't quite get to the window with them. Knicks all year long, when they're playing teams who are not the top, like the elite teams, they've taken care of them, ATS wise. So I just didn't want to step in front of them here. They are 3-5 ATS without rest, but still, they've been playing too well. So I want to get there with the Wizards. I wasn't able to. I will likely stay off the game. Maybe I'll just bet the game under, or I like the game under. I know the Knicks play at a slower pace, and Wizards been playing better defense than we expect from them lately. Last 5 game stats have them as 15th. Knicks are the second best defensive rated team last 5 games, and it's gone under 4 of the last 5 meetings. So I think under. I would agree with the market in that regard, and maybe I guess just a lean towards the Wizards. How do you feel about it, Rob?
Yeah, it's a tough game. Under, obviously, the money likes under, right? 237 down to 234. Very rarely this year have we seen a Wizards game get pushed toward the under, but I think that's more, like you said, because of the Knicks and their defense and pace. Knicks 8-1 under the total in January. It seems like, again, not to beat a dead horse, but ever since Anunoby came over and Tom Thibodeau had somebody to show an example of how to play defense, the rest have followed in suit. They got Jalen Brunson back last night, and it didn't seem like he missed a beat. I think he had 30 in that game. They got to 109. It's going to be interesting to see how the Wizards work now, right? Marvin Bagley Jr., or Marvin Bagley III, excuse me, in this lineup now. He's excited to be there. I don't know if that throws some cohesiveness off or not, but the Wizards still have a really good scoring lineup, Skeet. It's going to be a tough team for the Knicks to defend if Washington's making some shots. The back-to-backs lead me to believe that maybe the Knicks are a little less focused on the defensive end, or at least a little more fatigued on the defensive end. I'm with you. I didn't play it. It was tough to decide. 12 points is a lot of points, I think, to give this Wizards team. But again, with the sort of disruption in the lineup, and I don't know that it means as much with a losing team like Washington. It could probably only be for the better with Marvin Bagley III in there. But I'm not willing to take the chance here. And I don't like playing Wizards games under. So regardless of the Knicks being the opponent here, I'm not sure I could play either way in this game.
The chat surprised that I'm not running to the window with the Wizards. They have been pretty nice to me, pretty kind to me lately, but I want to. I just need more reasons to back them. So we'll see if I can find those reasons as the day goes on. We'll move on over to 525, 526. That is Oklahoma City Thunder, Utah Jazz. Opened up OKC minus 3.5. Hasn't really moved. Total opened up 245 and is down as low as 243.5. Nobody on the injury report for either team. I don't know when the last time I saw that. So you have Utah with 2 days rest, OKC with 1. OKC's been kind of falling in these standings. They were number 1, but they've been losing a lot of these important games. Last 5 game stats say OKC is a top 5 defensive rated team and better defense than Utah. But Utah is the number 2 offensive rated team and number 1 rebounding team in that span. And Utah's been on fire. I know they've won 9 straight at home. They've been a very good home team. 10-3 as a home dog. They've covered and won 6 games in a row. And a lot of this is, they started to play better because they got healthy. And here they are at home with the rest advantage on fire right now. I can't bet against the Jazz here. OKC, I feel like, has not been playing their greatest basketball lately. I could only look towards grabbing the 3.5 points with the Jazz. Rob, you look in that direction, or maybe you like the total?
I'm worried about Utah a little bit in this game, Ski, not because of the way they're playing, but the effect that canceling yesterday's game had on them. Larry Markkinen, another foreign player who was close or at least had a relationship with the assistant coach of Golden State who suddenly died. And you just wonder if the disruption in the schedule, Utah, the team issued a formal message or response to this. I think the team, from what I read, a little bit shook that it happened. Maybe just because they were supposed to play Golden State. I'm not sure. But it does seem like there could be a little disruption in Utah here. Oklahoma City, you're right. They haven't played as well. They were right in that Clippers game until Paul George went crazy at the end. It looked like Oklahoma City had an opportunity to win that game, so they were close, but no cigar in that one. Utah, counting them up here, 7-2 last 9. Talked about it enough how good they've been. I kind of see it as an offensive-minded game. Again, some of these totals, I just went back the last few days here since MLK Day on Monday. We've seen a lot of unders. And maybe these, daily 245s, 248s, maybe they're getting to be a little bit too high at this point in the season. I'm not so sure, but if I were going to play, I would play over here. The first half number is huge as well, so I don't know that I like that. Neither team really suggests that you would want to play a first half over. I think the best way for me to get to the window here would probably be with over 244. But again, I don't know what I'm going to get out of Utah. So to me, what I have marked in my notes here is go in game on this one. So I guess my opinion is I want to see how this thing plays out early. If Utah's all in, then I think we can play from there. But I'm a little bit nervous about them mindset-wise.
The chat kind of seeming like they say, a lot of everybody's loving Utah, all the money on Utah, but the line not moving. They saying this seems kind of trappish. But have to acknowledge the bad spot for OKC. What is this, their third game in 4 nights? Utah pretty well rested. One-way ticket for myself. If I was going to play the total, Utah's been playing up tempo lately. Both teams have been very good offensively. I would think it could be an over kind of game. OKC has gone over 5 of their last 6 on the road. So either the over or the Jazz for this better. 2 more games left. Be a quick and easy day today. 5:27, 5:28. Memphis Grizzlies heading into Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. Opened up Wolves -12. Hasn't really moved. Total opened up 217, and we're looking at 214 right now. Injury report for Minnesota. I only see Clark out. For Memphis, Bane, Brandon Clark, LaRavia, Derrick Rose, Marcus Smart, all out. So who's even really playing for this Memphis team? They do have 2 days rest compared to 0 for Minnesota. Yeah, I was kicking myself too for not taking the Pistons. Lost on the Hornets. Should have taken the Pistons versus the Wolves yesterday. Always easy to say after the fact. But Wolves only 1-2 so far without rest. They're 3-0 to the over unrested. I can't get to the window with Memphis here. Like I've seen how bad they are, how bad they've been throughout the season when they didn't have John Morant, and that's all I can picture them to be. Why would I want my money on that? That's just how I think. So as long as there's another game on the slate, I'm pretty confident I will hardly ever look at Memphis for the remainder of the season. So I'm just gonna pass this game, Rob. Sorry I can't give you guys more, but when everything's lining up and saying I should probably try to look towards Memphis, I just gotta close my eyes and let it pass. Rob, do you like anything in this game?
I played. Mark it down, Ski. I played an under. I played under 214 in this game. Isn't it amazing after you listed that injury report that team beat Golden State 116-107? I mean, how bad is Golden State right now to get beat by that team? Just real quick, the other night when Memphis beat them, the point guard is Luke Kennard at 6'7". I mean, he shared it a little bit with Vince Williams Jr., But they are so ravaged at the point. It's unbelievable. I don't think I want Luke Kennard initiating my offense. So for me, from that perspective, right away, you can't expect Memphis to score a lot of points here against this defense in particular. I think the last check I had this morning, there was a spot that had Memphis's team total down to 99.5 in this game, which is crazy low for today's NBA. But again, I just can't see this team with no point guard play, as small as they are. Now, let me just say this. The back-to-backs for Minnesota, I'm going to anticipate somebody being out when the time comes. Anthony Edwards was on the injury list yesterday. He played 33 minutes. Maybe he gets the rest tonight. Rudy Gobert, in back-to-back situations this year, has played the second of a back-to-back one time. The time he played it, in the first game, he went 24 minutes and then came back the next night. But last night, he went 37.5 minutes. I don't know that you'll see Rudy Gobert, which means you'll see Naz Reid. And even still, the combination of Karl Anthony Towns and Naz Reid in the interior is much bigger than what Memphis brings. I mean, Jaren Jackson doesn't really play a lot inside. It's mostly Tillman at 6'8". So I think Memphis has difficulty scoring inside. I think Memphis has difficulty starting offense from the outside. I think second of a back-to-back, Minnesota would be more than happy to play slower pace, methodical, win it with their defense. If they rest a couple of guys, maybe their offense goes down a little bit more. Just thought 214 was too high, Ski. I could see Minnesota winning this game with like a 109 team total final. And if that's the case, then this thing's going to stay way under. So I played under. I don't do it often. But I think that in this case, situational and then fundamental matchup wise, it speaks to me as an under. I'm looking now as we talk, I'm seeing some 214.5s and 215s, possibility of some take back here. I like under.
I can't really talk you off in this game. Munaf likes the Grizzlies. Might be the only one there. And I'm just going to pass and move right over. This last game, I've been trying to talk myself into as well, and we'll see what we think about this one. 529, 530. Indiana Pacers heading into Sacramento to take on the Kings. Opened up Kings minus 8.5, down as low as 7 right now. Total opened up 243.5, and as high as 248 for the injury report. Don't see anybody on there for Sacramento. For the Pacers, Hallie, game time, could make his return. Mathurin, Neesmith, Toppin, all game time decision. And then we have Siakam. He's game time, but he's doubtful. So not going to make his debut most likely. I feel a couple different ways about this game here, Rob. First and foremost, I get that the Kings have covered they've covered 4 of their last 5 games. They've been playing some really good competition, but they still have lost 3 in a row. And before that, I don't feel like they were playing their greatest basketball either. They're like, just recently in the past 2 weeks, I put them, or 2 or 3 weeks, I put them on my hell no list. I want absolutely nothing to do with this Sacramento Kings team. I will not be laying with them. I don't even care who they play against. Right now in this game, they're at a rest disadvantage. It's their first game back after a 5-game road trip. And I feel like obviously it's a flat spot, first game back home after a long road trip, but how they lost that last game, being up 20 points and letting them come back and win, I feel like they're extra deflated after that now. And then after this game, Kings, I believe, have 3 days rest. So they could just go through the motions and just be looking for those days off. I just can't help but think, flat and deflated. That's how I view the Kings right now. And just not good enough to be laying 8.5 in general, 7.5 anyway. The Pacers, it worries me that Halliburton has been out for a while and could return. It's always tough when that star player gets inserted back into the lineup, high usage player. And I looked at Indiana is on the front end of a back-to-back tomorrow. But it is that revenge for both Sabonis and Halliburton versus their old teams. So I would think, Halliburton should want to get out there and go today. So I do lean towards him being out there. Whether he's been out on the court or not, Indiana's been playing good basketball. They're 9-2-1 ATS their last 12 games. And on the front end of a back-to-back so far this season, Pacers have been good. They're 5-2 straight up, 6-1 ATS. I think the Pacers, like, they're telling us when they made this trade that they're going for, like, they want to contend, they want to win this year. I think they feel that energy, and it starts here today, regardless if Siakam's on the court or not. So I really want to get there with the Pacers. Rob, can you talk me off?
All right. Well, where I'm concerned, and I checked into this pretty deep, Ski. I mean, we have conflicting reports here because I have two sources that tell me that Halliburton's not going to play the rest of the week. And I have written right here that it says Halliburton has been ruled out for the rest of the week, missed Indiana's last 4 games and has been ruled out for the rest of the week. His homecoming to Sacramento canceled for tonight. So I don't think Tyrese Halliburton's going. I also saw somewhere that he will be reevaluated at the end of the week, which also indicates that he's not going to go here tonight. If that's the case, and I'm you, I have 2 hell no's. Hell no. No Hallie, hell no. And the Kings, hell no. So it's hard to make a case for either side here. I totally agree with you. I watched that Sacramento game from start to finish, and the fact that they blew that game is almost laughable. I mean, Phoenix was dead in the water and somehow came back and got that victory really late. I mean, obviously Durant's hoop was late in the game, or free throws were late in the game, but that fourth quarter comeback was nuts. You would have to think, I mean, I guess you could argue both sides because we never know the actual answer until the game's over. But my opinion would be they're deflated, not like, motivated to make up for what they just blew. I don't see that happening. So it would probably lead me toward a little bit of an over, but this thing's out of reach for me at this point. 247.5 just seems to be too high, at least for my liking, without Tyrese Halliburton, probably without Pascal Siakam. The Pacers are probably better off waiting till Siakam's there to play before they put Halliburton back on the floor. At this point, if they're going for it, let's make sure he's healthy before we put him back on the floor. So I don't want to lay it with Sacramento. You know what? In the end, Ski, I guess if you forced me the proverbial gun to the head, I would take 7.5 with the Pacers because you just can't trust Sacramento in any way, shape, or form, even though they can score. And Sabonis has been on an absolute tear. You can't trust that team to cover this type of numbers. So that would be the only way I could look in this game, I guess.
Well, you're not talking me off. So
no.
I'm still likely to push confirm there. Couple comments coming in. Jerry says, if most of the money is on the public side, should the bettor take the opposite and fade the public? Is the bettor a robot? If the bettor is a robot, then go ahead and just do it robotically like that. If the bettor is not a robot, then just actually handicap the game and see which side you think has an edge. That's what I think you should do. Any comment there, Rob?
The only thing, and this is just me, Ski, I never believe that what they claim is public is truly always public. I mean, I don't know how they decipher that. Do they take Billy Walters' money and push that aside and say everything else is? I mean, this stuff, it becomes stuff that guys in our industry toss that term around a lot. Oh, the public's on this, the public's on that. But how do you decipher that money? I honestly don't ever think those numbers are truthful. I don't pay attention to them. And one last thing I'll say is when I first came to Las Vegas in 1991, I was in a sports book with a old timer, a fairly decent sized bettor. And he told me, if you follow line moves, like you said, robotically, you'll be a 50-50 bettor your entire life. And that's 30 plus years ago since I've been in this business. And I could confirm that. If you're just going to follow line moves, you'll win half, you'll lose half. Because some of those line moves are actually setups and they're fake line moves. So, for the average bettor to figure out which is which, we're a little more into it every day. Sometimes we can pick them out. But no, I wouldn't be just betting against the public. I think that's You know, again, I don't want to get on too much of a rant, but I think that's too commonly used by people. Because we could do a show on that, Ski. I just don't believe in that stuff.
I don't either, and I'll be 1000% honest. It irritates me and it frustrates me when I hear that being the one and only way that people are capping their game. Like, and it especially irritates me. Like, if you want to do that, and that's just how you make your bets, I have no problem. Do your thing. But if you're on in front of a screen, in front of an audience, and that's the only reason you have to tell them to go bet a game, I'm not. I'm not a believer in doing that. I think you're leading the people wrong. So I'm not into that. I'll just say that. Let's look at a couple more comments before we get over to best bet. Inhale Divine says, "Where's J Money?" I don't know. If you ask me where anybody is, I'll probably say the same thing. I don't know. I don't keep track of what everybody's doing. I know where Rob's at because Rob's on my show.
Right.
All right, I think that's enough.
This is getting to the funny part of the show now. Oh, man.
Booker said throwback story time with Veno. All right.
Yeah. Ski's been there. Ski's heard a few. So yeah, we could do that one day too.
All right, let's get to it. We've been on here for 31 minutes, 32 minutes just about, and we got through every NBA game for today. So, like I say, about that time where people in the chat, you know what to do. First of all, you know the rules too. Some people still don't follow the rules. I just assume you guys don't want me to record these best bets because I say it every day. So if you come in there in the chat and you don't follow the rules, I'm scrolling right past it. I'm like, hey, if they say something to me in the show, I'm gonna just look at it. So the rules are: put best bet next to the comment, put the number of the line you actually got, and no more than 2 best bets. Simple. So I know how to grade it. So I know which ones are your actual best bets, and we'll come back and talk about them tomorrow. The chat did go 12-8 yesterday, which was 60%. So, Rob, I'll ask you. Talked about 5 games here today. Is there maybe something you like a little bit more than the rest? And also, is there anything that you would like to promote?
Yeah, let me get serious here because I'm in one of those time periods where I'm laughing at everything. Today at Wagertalk, it's half price Thursday, guys. So if you're interested in selection packages, today's a good day to test out anybody that you like over there, myself and Ski included. All selections are half price over there all day. Once again, if you're not currently a member, just go over to wagertalk.com, drop in your email address. You'll instantly have access to all of the video content. I was on the NBA show earlier today. We recorded and all of the written content provided by the analysts over there, like Ski and myself. So once again, wagertalk.com. Half price Thursday for the best bet. Here's Ski. I mean, the one that stood out to me and the one I played the strongest was the first one we talked about in multiple ways. I think to play it, it was just my personal preference to play the Bulls team total over 114.5. I think it'll be a high scoring game. Money certainly thinks so, but I think beyond that, Toronto has showed us what they're going to be the rest of the way. Fast paced team, and Chicago, point production wise, has scored an awful lot each and every game, 4 out of 6 at least, since Vucevic has come back. So I think they might have found themselves offensively. I think it's a pretty good advantage here. So give me the Bulls team total over 114.5.
All right, good stuff there, Rob. And as always, both Rob and my profile for Wager Talk are in the description to the video. So you can click the link. It'll take you to both of our profiles there. Take a look at some of these comments, some best bets from the people before I get to mine and get out of here. Dylan asking for looks on NFL. We'll talk a little NFL tomorrow. We'll talk some tomorrow. Speaking of that, tomorrow, he says his best bet is OKC minus 3.5. KC going with Jalen Williams PRA. Markel likes the Jazz money line. Siete Catorce likes the Wolves minus 10 and the Kings money line. I haven't seen him make a play like this before. Usually it's 2 money lines. So best of luck there. Siete Catorce. JT likes the Knicks Wizards under 235. Jeff S. going with De'Aaron Fox over 28.5 points. Main A says RJ Barrett over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Doug Reed likes he says Rob over there losing it.
I was for a minute.
It was funny. And Casey says I can't take Rob serious. Dude did a 180. We have a good time on this show. So for you people watching on the replay, you can see these best bets, just so you know. If you're watching on your phone, go to the comment section, slide it over, you click it, you can see all the live chat replay. And if you're on the computer or laptop, should be in the top right corner. For myself, I have to be honest here. I have not placed one bet yet. I've told you guys what is on my radar, and hearing it, talking, I really wanted to get there at Indiana. I really do. But hearing, Rob, it sounds like you don't think he's going to play Halliburton. And if Halliburton is not playing, I can either get a better number or just stay away from the game in general. So at this point, I think I have to wait. I don't want to tell you guys anything. I will be on again. I will be on again with my guys Babano, Wham, and Dutch at about 1 p.m. Pacific. And if I like more than one play, I'll share them both with you there. But I just don't want to tell you guys anything. I place every single bet that I tell you guys. So I'm not into putting my money on just anything, and I wouldn't want you guys to do that either. So for now, you get a best bet from Mr. Veno, and check back later for one from me. And like we always say, this show is absolutely nothing without the chat. We know how to have a good time. We share a lot of good information, and in 100% honesty, I look forward to doing this show every day just because of how cool everybody is. So appreciate you guys. Can't tell you that enough. Best of luck if you tell. Good luck on all your action, and I'll catch you guys again shortly. Peace.